Okay, everyone, welcome to another editing breakdown. Today, we're going to be going deep into one of my favorite creators on the platform, Cut. They are some of the best emotional storytellers in their content that they do. So, we're going to dive into that. Today, I want to start with a little bit of context. So, the goal for us today is to study the editorial decisions that the editors of Online Couples Meet for the First Time, Truth or Drink by Cut have made. We want to understand why they made the decisions and the short selections that they did and how that pushes the narrative. And this is important for us to understand before starting the video because they had all of the footage in advance and then made this video. The way we're about to see things unfold is not necessarily how it unfolded in real time on the set on the day of. Instead, it's pieced together in a way that creates an interesting emotional arc for us, the audience, the viewers, by the editors. So, what made them decide to make this video the way that they did is what we're really trying to figure out today. Um, Something else that's good to know is we want to know the audience's desire before even starting, before we can even think about the editor's decision making process, because they had to consider that first as well. And the name of this video, Online Couples Meet for the First Time, immediately instills a sense of curiosity in me, at least, and maybe in you as well. That feeling of like, oh, wow, these are internet people, right? That's the word I would use. It's internet people, and these internet people are now about to meet for the first time. There is a lot of anxiety that's going to be there, a lot of curiosity, and just I really want to know what's going to happen. So the editor has to be asking themselves, well, what is the story here? What does the audience want? And the audience wants to go on that journey of uncovering or discovering the person you've been online with for however long, we don't know, right? The the other thing I want to say that adds more intrigue to this and also probably informs the editor's decision as well is that Nev from Catfish has already painted a narrative of meeting a partner online. So there is a lot of anticipation before you even click play. Because is this another type of catfish situation where because it's the cut, you don't think it's going to be a catfish video, but you also think like could it be a personality catfish? So we have a lot of things to really look into before we even make the opening of the video. And I mentioned that context because we need to think about the opening of the video and the ending of the video in advance. We need to understand how are we leading the audience into this journey that they've signed up for, and how are we going to get them off of the journey that they signed up for. And that's the decision that we've made. So let's get into this. The way I'm going to approach this video is I'm going to play it for just enough time that we don't violate copyright laws, and then we'll go back and look into what what is the emotion, how did the dialogue drive the story forward, what's the pacing they did and the short sequence that they chose, and how all of that impacted this narrative they're trying to tell. So let's start at the beginning.
Hi,
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Amber. I'm here to meet Huey today.
How did you meet him?
Online through Valorant.
What's that?
It's a video game. I've never met him in real life.
David is a guy that I met online on an
Okay, so I'm gonna stop here for mainly the copyright thing, but we can see the decision they made at the start. They've shown this person, they said her name and it already escaped me, but they're showing this woman here alongside an empty seat as the opening. And if you notice, they kept the reverb high in the audio of the video. So it feels a bit lonely in that moment. Props to the set design for the people from the cut, because all of this plays a part in the emotion that we're gonna have. I think the choice to open with this particular shot is that it shows the spaciousness, and also it's definitely the best way to, at least in hindsight, to introduce the plot point, which is, well, she's going to meet someone she dated online for some time, and we're getting context at the start here. So it's a really smart way to open up.
What's your name?
I'm Amber. I'm here to meet Huey today.
How did you meet him?
Online through Valorant.
What's that?
Okay, I'm going to skip forward a bit so we don't have to worry too much about the copyright.
Called Chispa, which is Latino community guy that I met online on an app called Chispa, which is Latino community dating.
My name is Cameron Rookie. I'm here to get drunk and play Truth or Drink with the beautiful Lorelai.
So right now they're just showing us, they're just giving us context. Who are you? Where did they meet them? And they're affirming the click. They're confirming the click for us that these people met online.
Your online girlfriend?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna have him come around the corner.
Hi, how's it going? It's so nice to finally meet you. Wow, you are gorgeous.
Nice to meet you. You're very good looking as well.
Thank you. Hi, darling. Hi. You look
There is definitely a more mature cutting style to what the cut does compared to other shows I've reviewed not too long ago, where there is the constant desire to have words popping up and things flashing on the screen to keep viewers engaged, which is something that you have to do from time to time. But I love the length of time they held onto the shots as they brought in like the initial payoff. So it's already a micro payoff happening where we're going to be rewarded for the click again. As these people come, they enter. Now we get to experience the emotions they have. And by holding that shot for longer, rather than cutting immediately on the action, because they didn't need to show them walking through the door. But showing them walking through the door, from my perspective, builds anticipation. It's like, oh, wow, they entered. In my mind, it's kind of like I'm looking at a door and someone is entering that door with me as well. So this is a great shot selection. I think I understand why the editor made this choice.
Hi, how's it going? It's so nice to finally meet you. Wow, you are gorgeous.
Nice to meet you. You're very good looking as well.
Thank you. Hi, darling. Hi. You look so pretty.
Sorry, I'm freaking out.
Did you guys notice that the pacing picked up as well? So we went from these long, slow, intimate shots at the beginning to now action is starting. We need to pay attention, and the pace increased a bit here as Huey entered. Huey brought the pace with him, and we just went through a higher pace of introductions, but at the same time, they kept all of the relevant action. And in something like this, the relevant action is the emotional beats that are carrying the story forward. A good example of that is Cameron and Lorelai here, where they had the fastest cut sequence of all of the people we watched. Yet still, Oralile, sorry, not Lorelai, Oralile. Her name is different here. Okay, so we found a mistake. It happens. But, oh no, I was wrong. Okay, Lorelai. So they had the fastest shot sequence, but we didn't miss an emotional beat with them at all.
Pretty.
Here, emotional beat, emotional beat, emotional beat, emotional beat. And now this is another emotional beat. And I love that they chose to show. I love that they chose to show her sitting down and her staring at him. Her face has a lot of information right now. It's happening very quickly, so I couldn't click just in time. Maybe if I played LOL or Dota, one of those games, I would have been able to do it. But they're showing these shots that are just packed with emotions. And for us, the audience, as a first time experiencing this for a lot of people, most people don't date and meet people online for the first time. Well, now it's changed a bit because there is actually like the dating apps. But what I mean by that is the setting for this feels a bit different than an online dating app. I might be wrong, but it feels as if this is more you've had a long-term relationship over the internet than you just met someone on a dating app. And that's where all of these emotional beats are hitting so hard at the start. And notice that the editors chose at the point here, after we've established what's going to happen, we've paid off the click, and we get into the plot point. Now they start building the pace up. And you can actually see the curve here followed that pace, interestingly enough. And then we get to the payoff here of the emotional satisfaction.
Sorry, I'm freaking out.
And now we can feel it.
gonna be a catfish, but I'm so happy you're not.
She said it. She said the catfish thing, you know. That's what the audience was thinking as well.
I was so worried you were gonna be a catfish, but I'm so happy you're not.
Your hands are so shaky.
You find me more.
Okay, let's pull it back just a little. Yeah, these are all jam-packed with emotions. The story is actually unfolding a lot faster than it seems. We're already a minute in, but to me at least, it feels like if I've only watched 10 to 12 seconds. So kudos to you, the editors at Cut. The story is unfolding very, very rapidly. And I love their pacing decisions that they've made. Anything else I need to comment on here? The dialogue. I wanted to talk about the dialogue. They're using dialogue as the way to drive what's happening in the story. Like, we hear a laugh while he's covering his mouth, but I don't know if that laugh is from there or if that's just some editing magic. They clipped a laugh from here and put it over here to amplify that emotion that he is feeling and to simulate like the girl next to him laughing. I think that's what happened. And then we come to this one.
I'm freaking out.
I was so worried you were gonna be a catfish, but I'm so happy you're not.
Your hands are so shaky.
Now that you've seen me in person, do you find me more or less attractive?
Way more attractive. Your eyes are prettier in person.
Really?
Your eyes are super pretty. Do you find me more or less attractive?
More. You're even more gorgeous in person.
You're so sweet.
That was a super cute moment. They held on to that for really, really long. Here, I think we're still in the intro. If we're separating into 3 individual acts, beginning, middle, end, we're still in the beginning. We're getting buy-in from the audience, like you should continue watching. And they're doing that through their own means. My observation is that they're doing that through the emotional buy-in, through us seeing these heightened experiences, because we're experiencing all of this now. I can literally feel it in my body. Their emotions, I can feel it in my body as they're going through this. But this guy and this girl, this couple, they seem to be the people that we're buying into the most. Here you can see. They held the shot, then went into this transition. Now, why would they go into this overhead shot? The music changed at this point as well. And I think that they've gone into this shot because it would be too repetitive to show this character once again. That would be a bit too repetitive to have his face zoomed in. He's also pulling the card, so we need continuity and context. We need to also be able to see how the story is progressing as the viewer. So they decided to go with the overhead shot, because a side shot, which is the last thing they had before, as you can see in the small windowed square over here, it's that continuing with that same thing doesn't have the impact of, okay, we're going into the story now. I don't think that we're at the middle of it yet, because the middle is generally where tension starts to climax. But I think we're now getting deeper into the buy-in phase and the middle section of the first segment.
Now that you've seen me in person, do you find me more or less attractive?
Way more attractive. Your eyes are prettier in person.
Really?
Your eyes are super pretty. Do you find me more or less attractive?
More. You're even more gorgeous in person.
You're so sweet.
Those long, see, like I'm smiling as well watching that. I'm so happy for them. Those long lingering shots, they build tension, they build anticipation, and they give us a moment to sink in with the emotion. If you're watching an action scene, they cut on action really quickly. So the gap between the cut before the action takes place and the cut after the action takes place, that determines the pacing of whatever scene you're in. Because this is a conversation, I would determine the action to be the talking, the dialogue, the emotional expressions. Those are the action in this scene. They're not gonna go across the table and fight. Well, maybe they will, right? We don't know. Maybe Cut does a Jerry Springer version sometime. But those pauses and those long lingering shots are what's allowing us to soak up the emotion of the scene.
Now you've seen me in person, do you find me more or less attractive?
Honestly, way more attractive. Yeah, you're very pretty. I love that way you did your hair too.
Thank you.
It's really good.
A little pigtails.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, so they're doing that for some shot variation, but also the questions they're asking are really well planned because it's getting us into the tension. You can notice the music is shifting slightly. I don't want to linger for too long because I know we don't have too much time left today.
You're very pretty.
But
I love that way you did your hair too.
Thank you.
It's really good.
We linger on her to experience her emotions. We see her finger tapping. We see her with this smile. She seems really happy. And we get to share in that.
A little pigtails.
Wink, wink. Have you seen me naked online?
I haven't seen you fully naked, but I have seen your penis.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Dad.
Okay, so going back to dialogue now, I want to show the sequence of decisions that occurred through the dialogue, what I assume occurred via the dialogue. So let's start
Is
here.
super pretty? Do you find me more or less attractive?
Do you find me more or less attractive? This is such a high stakes question, just right off the bat. And that gets us to buy in immediately. And also, what they're doing is by only cutting from, because all of the couples would have had to answer these questions, right? They're transposing, if that's a word, maybe I'm using a word I don't know, by using these two, they're transferring their emotions onto the other couples because they're not allowing us to see the other couples' responses to these questions. So maybe the editor chose to take the most emotionally impactful of each of these and assign that to everyone by using that as the cut they chose. And they're using this dialogue to drive the story forward. So now we have the assumption that all of the people in the story are more attractive. Just right off the bat.
You're even more gorgeous in person.
You're so sweet.
Now you've seen me in person, do you find me more or less attractive?
Honestly, way more attractive. Yeah, you're very pretty. I love that way you did your hair too.
Thank you.
It's really good.
A little pigtails.
Wink, wink.
Okay. So they did let the second couple say it as well, but there is still another couple we haven't seen. So I'm going to assume that they're just transferring those emotions over. Now we get a bit of tension and the dialogue is pushing us forward in the story more. We already established they like each other more.
Have you seen me naked online?
This is an open loop question. I'm not going to pretend that I fully understand all of the questions they chose to ask. That's a production thing. Just one moment here, guys. That is a production thing. I'm not fully sure why they chose the questions that they did. But this is one of those curiosity-inducing questions. Have you seen me naked online? Have we been intimate? It's developing further their relationship in our eyes.
I haven't seen you fully naked, but I have seen your penis.
That's also another like common audience member question, like the online. I'm not gonna say it because I'm live, but you know the online intimacy is that something that online couples do? You know, so they're doing a very good job guiding us through this story.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Dad.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean not fully naked, but you've seen his penis?
Pull it out of your pants. He can pull it out of his pants without taking his shirt off.
Oh, that was phenomenal. That was a really phenomenal short sequence. I applaud you guys. This point here.
I haven't seen you fully naked, but I have seen your penis.
So this shot is putting us into her head and making us feel a closeness to what she's saying. There is an intimacy involved in this shot.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Dad.
Then there is a bit of release because it's not just the two of them. It's like we the viewer are brought back into this thing, right? They're making a self-aware thing that we're on camera. It broke the fourth wall to let us know, like they're aware we're watching them.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean not fully naked, but you've seen his penis?
And that is what I'm so happy to see. The editor left the moment to sit and expand in that awkwardness of, oh wow, we just disclosed personal information to everyone on the internet and they're aware of it now. And yes, I'm guessing this is the producer speaking that's going to ask another question. But the editor could have made a lot of different choices here. They could have cut back to his face to show the embarrassment. They could have cut back to her face to show the giggling and the tension. But rather, they left it to build. So we, the viewer, are having more anticipation. Like, what's happening now? What's going to come next? And he comes in with the question, boom, not fully naked. What do you mean? And that's something we're also thinking as well. How have you seen that but not seen him fully naked? And this entire sequence was just amazing. Massive respect to you guys. That was a phenomenal sequence.
Pull it out of your pants. He can pull it out of his pants without taking his shirt off.
And now they linger on his embarrassment because it has more embarrassment coming. It's like it's more the primary goal is to guide the audience through an emotional journey. That's what every editor's goal is. So in this type of content, right? To guide us through the emotional journey. And we're there to show his embarrassment before, at the point where they held the long shot. And then they came back to this moment, but they showed the wide shot of this moment. We wouldn't have the deepening of that emotional experience we get now. If they were to show that close up of him or her, where we experience the emotion, then they cut out to the wide and cut back into this, we wouldn't have experienced it as much. They let the time build out. So now we're hit fully with that embarrassment, that excitement, that the giggliness, all of the emotions he's experiencing. Us, the viewers, were getting hit with that immediately. Again, another great selection.
I warned you, I was going to be brutally honest.
This third shot here, as you can tell, I really like this sequence. This shot here, them returning to this shot, something really important is the sequencing of the shots that you choose as an editor. And they're letting the dialogue drive the story. We're learning more about her here. But at the same time, rather than go into her after having a moment with his emotion, they've zoomed out. And this is a point where I'm not actually sure why they made this decision. I think it's being made because you don't want to overload people with emotions. You don't want to go from his embarrassment to cut to her face to the overhead would not make sense in this moment because we can't get anything. So zooming out and widening now so the shots don't feel too repetitive, that we can experience what she's about to tell him from the point of view of the audience themselves and not the people in the show, the contestants, if you want to call them that. They're making this decision so we can experience a release from the emotion, and the dialogue is driving that by her making a joke. Like I told you, I'm gonna be honest about it. It's not a joke, but it's a tension relieving moment from my perspective, at least. If I'm wrong about that, or you think that it's another thing. Please leave that in the comments below. I'm happy to learn from anyone that has an opinion as well.
Warned you I was going to be brutally honest.
I'm happy to consider everyone's opinion. That's what I should have said. So let's continue.
Oh no. Oh my god, no. Oh. Oh no. Oh my god, no.
Oh my goodness. If we had sex tonight and it was terrible, would you ghost me or tell me the truth?
One thing about me, I actually don't sleep with.
Okay, let's pause for a moment here. I think I know where she's going with that. So let's, once again,
Brutally honest.
So I want to point out something I just noticed.
I warned you I was going to be brutally
She's
honest.
talking here, and we're focused in the center. This may actually be why they chose this shot as well. But focused in the center, my eyes are looking at the two people in the middle. And now we come to this overhead shot where, once again, there is this gigantic table here, and it's in the center of the frame. You cannot not look at the table. So it keeps some, that's not continuity. I don't know the specific term for it, but it's eye tracing. It's being aware of where the viewer's eyes are at a given point in time and not trying to make them dart around the screen. If I'm looking at the top left corner, then the bottom right, then the bottom left, then the top right, it's jarring. It's difficult to follow along. So maybe that's why they made the shot before.
Oh no. Oh my god, no.
And this is good again, right? So they show the pacing is phenomenal, by the way. Everything feels like it's unfolding as it should. The guy before that's holding the cards and laughing, he's building tension for us by having this emotion. It's like we already know it's going to be a question that's going to push boundaries a little bit just by that. And now we come to a shot of her where we're worried about, well, what's the question going to be? We get to have that feeling alongside her. And it's, once again, it's constantly to develop the story. Everything is to develop the story. So we're still actually in the phase of learning about them and not pushing boundaries as yet.
If we had sex tonight and it was terrible, would you ghost me or tell me the truth?
This on the right, the cards, I think they put this just so that it has some visual stimulation. Also, like, they sell these cards, if I'm not mistaken. And this doesn't look like the real card either. This looks like they took a photo, made a template, and then they wrote text on it because it doesn't look perfectly aligned or whatever. I'm not criticizing their cards. Just they put this here for some visual stimulation. We can read along, and it's a bit more interesting than just listening to him talk the entire time. If you notice, they only have like 4 camera angles in total, right? So the editors are doing what they can to keep it as visually interesting as they can with the limited options that they do have.
The truth.
One thing about me, I actually don't sleep with boyfriends.
Okay.
I want to get married. So if I was engaged to you and
Like, that was actually so funny. The dialogue again driving what we learn about them, right? She says, one thing about me, I don't sleep with boyfriends. And then there is like a micro pause.
Okay.
And we go immediately to his reaction.
It's terrible. Would you ghost me or tell me the truth?
one thing about me, I actually don't sleep with boyfriends.
Okay.
I want to.
Yeah, there is like that little pause, and he goes, okay, I accept. Oh, that means the stream is up. All right. Hopefully I'm still going and it's not completely done. But I want to tell you guys, thank you for locking in with your boy. Shout out to the people at Cut for the videos that you guys produce. This was really, really, really well done. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. Lock in with your boy for another study session. Mondays, midnight 30. How do you say that? 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time or 2:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, AEST. I think that's what it stands for. Peace and love, guys. Bless.